Hi everybody, Jonathan Broadbent here, founder of UnWoke Investing. In a moment, I'm going to get into what that means and where it comes from. But let's start off by talking about what unwoke means and what awake means. If you're one of those people who's looking for better alternatives to things like education, maybe pulling your kids out of government schools and finding better, proper education, you're taking a second look at mainstream media and finding alternatives that actually give you true, worthwhile news. And if you question things like the pharmaceutical narrative and look for healthier alternatives to those jabs that are being pushed out there like crazy, you're awake. Congratulations. So, unwoke investing, in a nutshell, I work in the world of finance. I'm on the institutional side of finance. I've worked there for about 25 years, and I do a lot of work in large pools of money, mostly retirement plans. If you are technically savvy out there, if you took pre-law or law classes or an accountant, if you work in the world of finance, the term ERISA probably means something to you. I'm an ERISA subject matter expert. But interestingly, along that path, years ago, I was introduced to ESG and spent a lot of time understanding it and learning the nuances, what it is, how it works, and how completely bankrupt that whole system is. I absolutely can't stand it. So I fight against ESG, CBDC, all the woke garbage that you see in the world of finance. My model, and I liken it to America's frontline doctors. No, I'm not in medicine, but I think there's a good relevant example looking at the doctors who were willing to put their foot down and say enough to big pharmacy and challenge the narrative that those jabs were something good or that their patients should wear masks all the time. And I applaud them that effort. I believe that we're behind the curve in the world of finance. There are some of us out there in the world of finance who are fighting back. We don't believe in this unholy cross-pollination of banks that own investment management firms, that own investment offerings and have portfolios of things that they sell people. It's so convoluted. It's pay to play. It's horrible. There are all kinds of devious ways of money moving around in that environment, and very little or none of it has to do with your best interest. Hence, unwoke. I learned a while ago that ESG runs exactly counter to who I am as a professional, and I know enough and I have enough connections in the world of finance that I can bring good answers. So unwoke investing is not a product, it's not a service. They don't offer something to you. It's educational and informative. I don't care where your money is, who you work with, who your stockbroker or financial advisor or insurance rep is. If you're happy with them, great, stay with them. If you're not happy with them, find somebody that's better. But I want to arm you with the questions to go out there and do the key number one thing that I'm after, that we're after, that you should want to your very heart's core, and that is to defund the woke. Right now, we are giving trillions of dollars to our enemies who clearly, apparently, seem to hate us and use that money. They use our money to fund a war against us, our Judeo-Christian Western values. This is a box. This is sort of a little light humor. I do this in jest. I've taken this around with me for many months now. I've carried it around and taken it to places where I'm invited to speak. And I suggest that anybody that likes these places, like Planned Parenthood and BlackRock and LinkedIn and Disney and Bud Light and places, they're welcome to donate money in there. And unsurprisingly, this has stayed empty. Not a penny. And that's great. That's the way it should be. But what people don't realize is that your 401k, your IRA, your brokerage account, even your bank deposits get funneled into a lot of those types of things. So if you want to figure out the nuts and bolts and ways to avoid it, you're in the right place. Side note, I started doing this about a year and a half ago, and just talking about where the issues are and the super left, ultra liberal, woke stuff that was influencing the world of finance, and quickly realized there are a lot of people out there with the key question, understandably, where is good? Where should I be going? I contacted an organization called Second Vote. They've been applying Judeo-Christian metrics to investments for about 12 years now. And 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, they launched some of their own investment products. Hoorah! Good. That provided a good outlet. I started telling people to go there. I arranged a discount for anybody that went there. However, I suspect it's due to those three-letter agencies and significant legal headwinds. They faced so many battles through the years. The left really, really don't like people like me and them and the fighters who push back against the narrative. So after years of fighting and battles, they closed. So Second Vote, there's a really nice note. If you hit secondvote.com, that's the number 2 ndvote.com. Read the note from Dr. David Black. He's now become a personal friend of mine. He's a great guy. But they've been applying Judeo-Christian metrics for a long time. As they like to say, vote your values. The way we put it, one of the catchphrases we have is diss the left. Know where you donate, invest, and spend. People have gotten good at things like the boycotting Target and things like that. By the way, our suggestion is don't think of it as a boycott. Instead, vote your values. Second Vote, the name comes from the idea that your first vote is at the ballot box, your second vote is with your wallet. And I'm going to add to that and say that your third vote, and arguably the biggest pool of money by far, is those trillions of dollars of investment out there. And just so you know, there's hope attached to this thing. Estimates are that Judeo-Christian families represent about 48 to maybe $52 trillion of investable capital in the world's marketplace. If and when we convince those people, those firms, those organizations, those churches, those synagogues to pull their money out of the woke left, we can cut the head off of the snake. I truly believe it. It's a heavy lift. It's going to take some doing. But that's where this comes in. UnWoke.academy and UnWokeInvesting.com. We're going to get you advice. Stay tuned on suggestions for where to go. It's not enough, I recognize, for me to simply tell you the bad places you don't want to go, like BlackRock. Vanguard, I'm told, I leave them on here. I'm told that Vanguard has actually scaled back some of their anti-capitalist comments and stance. I'll believe it when I see it. They lean left, in my estimation. Most major big multinational managers lean left. One final thought on that. The places that I'm talking to that represent good hope for us, traditional capitalist, pro-Western values, pro-liberty, pro-civil liberties types of investors, we're going to find hope in those small managers. The small managers that aren't managing trillions of dollars and are ridiculously oversized. And there's also a good side note on that. In the investing world, if you're looking to something like a mutual fund, a pooled investment like a mutual fund, exchange traded fund, collective investment trust, sub-account, those types of investments, it's actually better to have a small manager because they're more nimble. They can move in and out of markets better, faster, easier. So that's what we're after. I'm going to be disclosing lots of information about things to avoid, how to clear a path in places like your 401k plan to get access to UnWoke types of investments. Again, that's not my company, that's a category. UnWoke refers to any manager out there, any place you can put your money that's doing traditional investing with your dollars. So stay tuned, share the news. Please get people pointed here. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. There are Twitter spaces, YouTube videos, Rumble videos. We're on most social media platforms, including Truth and Gab and places like it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being awake. And God bless on your path to becoming unwoke.